Oh yeah, that hits so much harder. I'm training for the Berlin Marathon, and then I'm gonna let them cool for a little bit, and that's it. Just mix it up. I've had a lot of time to get the long runs in, if you will. These just might be my new favorite running shoe. This is what I want in every romance book that I ever read for the rest of my life. What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, hello, my name is Erica. It's so good to have you. And if you are not new, welcome back. It's so good to have you back. I am back with another running, reading, recipe, triage. Is that the right word? Trilogy? I don't know. We're just gonna roll with it. Back with another video, and I'm still in marathon prep. I'm training for the Berlin Marathon this September. It'll be my third full marathon this year. And yes, that might sound crazy. And honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, that is pretty crazy to run 3 full marathons in 1 calendar year. I wouldn't recommend that because my body is definitely feeling it right now. I'm in the peak of marathon prep, but thankfully I have a deload week this week, which we will get into in just a second. But first things first, I want to roll back some footage from yesterday morning of me getting ready, doing my morning routine that I do pretty much every time before a run. This one was a treadmill indoor run, but I do basically the same thing if I'm gonna go run on the track or run outside. So with that being said, let's go back in time to yesterday so you guys can watch that, and then I'll catch you guys up on how I'm feeling in marathon prep. Yesterday I ran 9 kilometers inside on the treadmill, which is just under 6 miles for anyone that their brain operates in miles. Mine operates in kilometers. I get that question a lot, you guys. I'm from Canada originally, so my brain doesn't really understand miles all that well at this point in time. So bear with me. I did 9 kilometers yesterday and it went pretty well. I tried out my new shoes, which I'll show you guys later in the video. The Nike Vomero Pluses. I'm loving them so far. Plus the color that I got is everything. Okay, so anyways, I ran my 9K yesterday morning, and when I tell you guys my body needed this deload week so badly, I think it's a combination of a couple different things. One, I did my longest run yet last week, which was 3 hours on the indoor track, or 30 kilometers. And I've also just been very social, very like out and about doing things. So my body and my brain and everything is just like, girl, give us a rest. So this deload week could not have come at a better time, in my opinion. For anyone that's new to the term deload, a deload week is also sometimes called like a down week in training. And all that it means is that your mileage is pulled back or pulled down to give your body a bit of a break. So as opposed to last week when I had a 13 kilometer run and a 30 kilometer run, this week I have a 9 kilometer run and a 17 kilometer run. So a pretty significant decrease in overall mileage for the week. And I'm letting my body just kind of rest, recover, taking it easier in my gym sessions, all that good stuff. And then it ramps back up tomorrow and I have my final push of my highest mileage of marathon prep, and then I start my taper for my actual marathon in September. So this week is a deload week. Like I said, my body was really in need of it, and I'm really enjoying it. I think it's so important also for me to share that it's very normal to feel burnt out in marathon training, to have a couple runs that just aren't great, where you might feel sore, tired, nauseous, where you might have to call it quits early. All of these things are very normal in marathon prep. I have experienced them in every prep that I've done. So if you're in that boat right now, just know you are not alone and that it is very normal, and don't get down on yourself. Just keep going. Try to get as many miles on your feet as you can, you know, according to your training plan. Obviously, don't push past that. But just know you're gonna get there to race day and you're gonna feel prepared and you're gonna crush your race. Regardless of if you had 1 bad run or 10 bad runs, you're gonna finish that race. That's enough blabber about my marathon prep right now, but just know I'm loving my deload week this week. It's feeling so good. My body needed that break. And I also wanna show you guys a couple of the recipes that I've been making this week. If I didn't already put it in, I'm gonna include how I make my overnight pumpkin spice oatmeal. And then later today, I also wanna make some chicken Greek meatballs. I made them 2 days ago now and I love them. My husband loved them, so I figured I'd show you guys how to make them as well, and just how I put them into like a little Greek high protein bowl. So that's going to be on the menu plan for dinner tonight. And I also have some book updates for you guys, which we'll get into in a little bit as well. And I was also thinking it might be helpful to talk about some of my strategies for longer runs, because I know a lot of you guys watching are runners. Maybe you're thinking about doing a half marathon or a full marathon, or maybe right now your long run is 20 minutes and that feels daunting to you, and that is totally fair. I've been there too. But I'd love to give you guys some of my tips for how to get through your longer runs. So with that being said, first things first, let's get into the kitchen so I can show you guys this recipe, and then we'll talk about all the other stuff. Okay, this is how I make my overnight pumpkin spice oats. I start with half a cup of quick oats, and then we'll go in with pumpkin. And this part I honestly kind of just measure with the heart. I'm just gonna use up what's left in here. So I would say it's like maybe a third of a cup of pumpkin puree. And the more pumpkin puree that you add, the less liquid that you need, like milk or water. I'm gonna add an eyeball, about that much milk. I can always add more. I'm gonna do half a scoop of PEScience protein. They do have a pumpkin pie flavor. Some pumpkin pie spice, measure with your heart. I'll do a dash of salt and a dash of stevia. And that's it. Just mix it up, and if it's not liquidy enough, I'll just add more, but I'll show you guys the consistency that I like. So mine is pretty thick, like when you shake it, that's kind of how it looks. If you want it to soak up the oats and expand even more, you could add more milk or water, but I'm gonna leave mine like this. Put the lid on and put it in the fridge overnight, and it'll be ready to go in the morning. Okay, for our chicken meatball recipe, it's actually super easy. We're gonna start with 1 pound of ground chicken, ground lean chicken. You can use whatever leanness you like. I like pretty lean chicken. Oh, in she goes. Then we'll add 1 egg. I'm gonna do about a 1/4 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese. This is oregano. I'm gonna do about a teaspoon of dried oregano, a teaspoon of dried parsley, a teaspoon of dried dill, about a teaspoon of pink Himalayan sea salt, and 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. You can obviously adjust the seasoning to your desires, so if you want it to be more flavorful, like add more seasoning, add more cheese, but this is the general recipe. And I almost forgot, I'm gonna add in about a 1/4 cup of diced red onion. And then all we're gonna do is mix this together until it's nice and combined, and then I will roll them into balls. And this is one I wish I had rubber gloves, but it is what it is. And a lot of people do add breadcrumbs to their meatballs, and you totally can. I just don't have any on hand, so that's why we're going without, but it still tasted good without. And now we're just gonna roll them into balls and put them in our air fryer, and it makes about 12 medium-sized meatballs. Okay, that is what they're gonna look like when they're all rolled into their balls, and then I'm gonna throw them in the air fryer at 400 for about 15 minutes. Okay, and that is what they'll look like when they come out. Basically, I just cut the biggest one that I see open in half and make sure that it's fully cooked through and there's no, raw chicken left. And then I'm gonna let them cool for a little bit. And I will show you guys later how I use these in my dinner. It's gonna be like a Greek chicken meatball bowl. Okay, so I just started by adding a bed of rice and some lettuce, some red onion, some tomato, and some cucumber, and then I topped it with the meatballs and some homemade Greek yogurt tzatziki, and that's how I ate my meatballs. Okay, my book update for you guys is that I am 95% done, saving 6. I forgot how much I loved this series. I think I said this in my last video, but I read Binding and Keeping 13 last year, and I read them both in like 2 days, ripped through them, and then I don't know why I decided to read something else and not finish the series. Tell me if I'm the only one, but sometimes I can't just read a full series through. I need to break it up. Maybe it's because I want it to last longer. Maybe it's because I don't want to slump myself out. I don't know, but regardless, that's what I did with this series. And honestly, I'm kind of glad I did because, like I said, now I have more time to enjoy it. I've had time to process Binding and Keeping. Now I'm almost done saving. And when I tell you, this book literally stabs you in the heart and then pulls the knife out and just stares at you, That's how I would explain it. It is so heartbreakingly beautiful. This romance is my holy grail romance. Like, this is what I want in every romance book that I ever read for the rest of my life. Just like that painfully obsessed but can't be together, but like can't stay away, you know, that energy. Ugh, I love it so much. So anyways, I'm gonna finish this today. I have 5% left and I don't know how it's gonna end. I don't want to predict anything. I just want to go in and soak it all in, and then I definitely will be jumping into Redeeming 6 very soon after. I have this giant pile of books beside me, plus a couple more that are on my physical TBR. Some of them are part of my fall series that I want to make, just reading cozy fall reads. And then I think I might save One Golden Summer until I'm in California in a couple of weeks, because I feel like it's a good like last beach summer read to do before fall really hits. That's my book update, in case anyone was wondering. Also, comment down below if you have read any of these books, what your thoughts are, and if I should read one of them before Redeeming 6, because I do really want to read Time of Your Life by Jessa Hastings, but I think I might read Redeeming and then Time of Your Life. So let me know in the comments below. That's my reading update. Hope you guys enjoyed. No, it just ends like that. Okay, we gotta download the next one because what the fuck was that? These just might be my new favorite running shoe, and I do not say that lightly because I've been an Asics lover for so long, but when I tell you, these might be changing the game for me. These are the Nike Vomero Pluses. I just got them last weekend and I ran in them for my 9-kilometer run this week and loved them. They have a lot more cushion than the regular Vomeros, which I also have, and I like them, but not nearly as much as the Vomero Pluses. So if you're looking for a new long run shoe, go try these on at your nearest Nike, and I will link them in the description for you guys. Every time I go to film, my air conditioner turns on, so we're just gonna have to ignore that. Rude. But let's make a matcha while I tell you guys some of my tips for getting through your longer runs. Like I said, I ran 30 kilometers this past week, and I feel like I am somewhat of a seasoned professional now that I have ran 2 full marathons and I'm training for my 3rd. I've had a lot of time to get the long runs in, if you will. So my first tip is splitting up your runs. Please hold while I put this ice in. Splitting up your runs, and that can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. I don't mean like split your long run in half and do like one on one day and one on the other day, but what I mean is split it up, whether it's by the type of audio that you're consuming. So like half of it is music, half of it's a podcast, a third of it's an audiobook, a third of it's music, a third of it's podcast, or split it up by gels, treats, water breaks, etc. Just having stops in your mind or things to switch your focus so you're not just thinking about the run is such a game changer. So I will listen to a podcast for like half of my long run and then an audiobook, or vice versa. I typically don't listen to a lot of music right now. I did 2 marathons ago. I listened to Tortured Poets Department on repeat, but I think I kind of just got burned out from it, to be honest. So right now I'm listening to Zodiac Academy, and then after like 2 hours, I'll switch to a podcast of my choice. Please hold. And then in terms of breaks for food, there definitely is a strategic, science-backed way of fueling on your runs. They say usually like 1 gel every 30 minutes or so. So make sure that you're accounting for that, or like 25 carbs every 30 minutes. But when I tell you, you can have so much fun with this. You could be like, okay, the first hour of my run, I'm just gonna fuel with liquid electrolytes. So that means you're having, and like carb powder. So you're having drinks. And then once that hour goes by, you're like, okay, now it's time for my gels or my candy. So having little breaks in your brain, knowing that something fun is coming up, is a really big game changer for those long runs where you're running for like 2-3 hours at a time. It's nice to have little rewards along the way. Something that not everybody may agree with me on is doing out and backs. And what that means is like you run half the run in one direction and then you turn around and come back for the second half. But when I tell you, that has completely changed the game for me. And bonus points if you can do the first half on like a slight incline and then turn around and know that you're doing the second half of your run on a slight decline. Oh yeah, that hits so much harder. But for whatever reason, for me, an out and back makes the run go by faster. I also feel like it's helpful knowing that you have spots where you could stash something. For example, if you're on your own and you need to have a water bottle like 3/4 of the way through your run, on the way there you can throw it in the bushes somewhere so that when you come back it's there. I don't know what it is. Let me know in the comments if you guys agree, but out and backs, for whatever reason, make my long runs go by so much faster. Wow. Oh, I love matcha. And then my last tip is, if you can run with a run club, with a friend, with a family member, even if it's for 15 minutes, half an hour, it will help so much. Some of my favorite runs that I've done are my half marathons or my marathons that I've ran with my best friends, because you literally just get to talk the whole time and it makes the time go by so much faster. I love running with my mom. I love running with my friends. I have done a couple run clubs. I do want to do more, but right now, girl, in Vegas, the temperature, it's just not letting me go outside to run, okay? So that's not happening. But catch me going to all the run clubs here in the fall, okay? Anyways, if you guys can do any of your long run, whether it's, like I said, 20 minutes, 30 minutes with somebody else, even if it's not at your desired pace, even if you have to go a bit slower, trust me, the social time really distracts you from like what you're doing physically. All right, thanks for making a matcha with me. I'm gonna go edit some of this video, and hopefully those long run tips are helpful, and comment down below if you guys are training for any races right now. I'm so excited to hear what you guys are training for. And if anyone is doing Berlin, or if you're from Berlin, let me know in the comments below, because I would love to see you there.